Hi, we're Jim and Myra Wright.
Welcome to Right Around the World.
Let's talk missions. Hi, I'm Jim Wright, and this is my wife Myra. This is Right Around the World, and we have with us today via Zoom one of our favorite missionaries, missionary to Cameroon, West Africa, Ben Sinclair, also with Baptist World Missions. In any case, Ben, say hi.
Hello from Cameroon. We're here in Kribi, Cameroon. The family's around here. The kids are finishing up school, and yeah, I'm glad to be with you today.
Great. We have history with this gentleman. We got an email from him while we were still on deputation asking if we'd be willing to come to Cameroon. We thought, why not? We actually happened to be sitting in the home of some ex-African missionaries. And so we were excited about it. And we spent 8 months in the Bamenda area of Cameroon.
And usually he'll say 8 long months.
Yeah. In any case, just so that everyone understands, the Sinclairs are some of our heroes, not only because the fact that they're missionaries, but they're missionaries to Cameroon, and knowing what Cameroon is like, they keep going back.
That makes them our heroes.
Yeah. In any case, he's written a book that I think is essential for every pastor to read, every layman to read, certainly if you're on a missions committee. And it is very helpful for people who have a heart for missions to understand how the sausage is made. And so in any case, I've asked Ben to come and to share some thoughts. So Ben, first of all, give us a synopsis of your book.
Well, thank you again for allowing and sharing this time with you. The title of the book kind of gives the synopsis. It's called Missionary Partnership, a brief biblical theology of missions, deputation, and partnership. So the book begins with a longer chapter on missions. What is missions? I think one reason we struggle with how to send missionaries is there's a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding about what missions and what the Bible is all about and what God is all about in his activity in the world today. And so that's basically what the first part of the book is, a little biblical theology of missions. And then deputation. There's a lot of confusion about deputation. Most people think of the word deputation. They think, well, that's something that the missionary does. But we actually, in the book, explain deputation is what local churches do. They are the ones that deputize missionaries to go out from them as deputies, if you will. And so there's some explanation about that. I hope that portion will be a great encouragement to missionaries, because again, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of misplaced pressure on missionaries and so forth. And then finally, of course, the title of the book and the conclusion and the applications, that is partnership. And I really want the book to be an encouragement to local churches and pastors to go beyond supporting missionaries, just supporting missionaries, to actually partnering in a genuine biblical partnership, as we see in the New Testament with Paul and his partnering churches. And so that's kind of the synopsis of the book.
Good. One of the things I really appreciated about your book is right off the bat, you started with the Bible and the biblical understanding, the biblical perspective, the biblical mandate. And it is, it wasn't based on opinion. And although you did a lot of research and surveys and everything, it started out with, this is the Bible. This is our job. And
through every book of the Bible too. That was just wonderful to read.
It was thorough,
I really enjoyed that.
and we enjoyed that. So let me ask you, what is the primary takeaway that you'd like every pastor to get from this book?
Well, I believe that independent Baptists are extremely missions minded. I believe they're the most generous group of those sending missionaries, perhaps in the history of the church. And so I am very much encouraged that independent Baptists are very missions minded. However, I really try to encourage pastors in this book to ask themselves, are you missionary minded? again, we are generous, we give, we send more missionaries than most groups and so forth. But, you know, the average church, I think on my surveys here, the average church supports 26 missionaries, and they have a little over 100 members. So it is extremely difficult to keep track of 26 missionaries. Many churches have more than that. Half churches have more than that. And so it's difficult to know your missionaries, what they're doing, where they're at, their personal needs and burdens. And so my hope is that pastors will read the book. They'll be encouraged. Yes, we are missions minded, but I think we need to be a little bit more missionary minded, and we need to be partnering with missionaries to fulfill this great commission that God's given to us.
Good deal. You mentioned the surveys, and I was very impressed with your bibliography, your research. But what I really was intrigued by was all of the surveys that you took and the response that you got back from the surveys. Just fill us in on that a little bit.
All right. So I took 3 national surveys of Independent Baptist mission boards, contacted about 40 mission boards. Then I sent out to thousands of Independent Baptist pastors across the country, in every state, including Hawaii and Alaska, every state pretty much. And then also hundreds of missionaries from different Independent Baptist mission boards. So basically the information ended up being representing about 1,500 Independent Baptist missionaries, and also represented their 95,000 supporters. Most of them, of course, would be churches. So yeah, there's a huge reservoir of information. It's a good slice of what is, and again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the interview, but there are a lot of things out there that are just wrong, that float around in missions conferences and statistics. And I hope this will help. There were a few surprises to me, but not as many as some pastors have been like. I mean, one of the pastors that reviewed it early on was like, "Well, I just don't believe that one statistic." I'm like, well, sorry, that's the way it is. That's representing thousands of missionaries.
What do you think I am, CNN?
Hopefully, when pastors have questions, or mission boards, they can go to this survey and be accurate and encouraging and challenging where we're lacking as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed going to the appendix back there and going through all of those things that you found out. And
I think those will be a great help for pastors that are doing missions conferences to show their people. That's a really great resource.
Yeah, seriously, I would really recommend. I was kind of chiding Ben before we got this recording going about how the fact that he's not making any money on the sale of this book. That is such a Baptist move. Knock it off. I think he needs to make something. But in any case,
but God's going to bless him.
Yeah, we've already purchased a bunch of these to hand out to pastors, and I'm going to make them promise me that they'll read it before I give it to them, because hey, it's still $5, whatever it is. How much is it?
$5.60, I think. Yeah,
$5.60 on Amazon. Anyway, but. So I would really highly recommend that every child of God who has any interest, and by the way, you ought to have interest in missions, get this book, read it. And one of the things I really appreciated about it was that it went from the biblical mandate to the practical application. Okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we're doing. How can we do this better? And without condemning what we're already doing, he says, how can we do this better? And then he comes up with a plan that is practical, a plan that we all know. Pastors, we know that we ought to be supporting fewer missionaries for more money. We know that. But how do we get there? And one of the things I appreciate about the book is he gives several ideas for how we can move in that direction without sacrificing our existing missionaries. How can we do that? And so I really appreciate it. I think this book needs to be not only gotten, but read and digested and implemented by pastors in churches around the States.
So the big question, how can they get your book? Where do they go?
Well, I appreciate that. Amazon.com is the only place you can get the book. So you can get it in Kindle format. You can get it in the paperback. You can do a search for the title Missionary Partnership, or you can do a search for my name. Actually, if you do Missionary Partnership, you'll get a bunch of sponsored books that are advertised. So if you just type in Ben Sinclair, I think there are 4 books that pop up, three that we've published online, and then 1 in Spanish. And so you can look at any of those, and Ben Sinclair, Amazon.com. You can search for that.
Good deal.
Great.
Good deal. All right. Well, our time is almost gone.
One more plug.
Yeah, go ahead.
They also have a family CD.
Oh, that's right.
It'd
We
be
really enjoy that.
Great for Christmas.
Yes.
Really would.
Yes.
That is coming up. That is coming up. I've got this here.
There it is.
Very good.
Faith in Jesus is the CD, and our family here, the Sinclair family.
All with the puppy dog.
Yeah. How do they get that?
You can go to our website and let us know about that. Cameroon for Christ, not FOR, but the number 4, CameroonForChrist.com.
Okay.
And there's some instruction there on how to get a CD. So you get that through our local church, but just go to CameroonForChrist.com and it'll give you some instruction. Yeah,
good.
Appreciate
And
it.
we'll have all that information down below.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't get a link to those things, put them down below.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, hey, we love you guys.
Yeah.
We are some of your biggest fans, and whenever we see a church has your prayer card up, we say, ooh, missions dollars well spent here. And so in any case, we love you guys, and pass our hi along to Pastor Eugene, and we and stay away from that malaria stuff.
There you go.
Man, you went right.
Thank you very much. I do believe you are right up there with our number 1 fans, so we do appreciate your encouragement and prayers.
We bear that banner well.
Yeah.
I hope it will be a blessing to a lot of churches.
All right. Very good. Hey, we love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. And we will see you later.
Thanks for listening.
Help us broaden our outreach by liking and subscribing below.
And maybe even a share.
Thanks again, and may His best blessings be yours.